Welcome. Today we're just going to do a fun little top for the weekend. It just took me little or no time. I can't say no time. It took me just a little bit of time. And I really get this question a lot, so I thought I would kind of answer the question with a top. And the question I get a lot is about grain line. And when you're dealing with tops, knit tops especially, grain doesn't really matter except for visual appearance. So the only time that grain really matters is when the top or pants, the dress, the garment is really long, like over 20 inches. So even a skirt a lot of times it doesn't matter. Now that's when you're dealing with woven. So the whole concept is I'm dealing with a knit, so I don't have to follow grain. And the goal is that I really want to use grain in my favor and what looks best for that particular garment. So that's where I'm going to try to illustrate this to you today. This is the most amazing fabric. It's 4472 is the number. It's a cotton poly. It's navy and green. It's got the coolest texture to it. I mean, I'm absolutely in love with this fabric. So I thought I got to do something with it for me. So what I did is I made 621. We're on kind of a little PBS push, and so I did 621, which is the Alyce Blouse, and it's actually a woven. All right, but you can do it in a knit. We've had a sew along, so no excuse not to make this blouse this weekend. That's what I said. It's a holiday weekend. You got time, or maybe you have to take some time for yourself, but it took me about an hour. All right, so I want you to look at this photo because I changed the grain. Remember, this is for a woven blouse. I'm doing it for a knit. You don't have any grain, but you have a pattern with this fabric. And so I want you to take a look at this and show you where the grain is on the original pattern, and you can look at these pieces and you can see on this photo where these are the grain of the pieces, and the red is how I put it. And the reason I did that is, we're going to come back to the top I have on now, is you can see how the fabric itself, even though it's a knit and there's no grain, but it has a linear line to it, and it's going to follow the neckline. And then the rest of the top just kind of, falls where it falls in the back. I did a linear. I could have put it on a bias. You can do anything because it's a knit. But what you want to think about when you're dealing with a knit that has a pattern to it is, what's the pattern that you want to look in the final top you have on it. And there's so many ways to play. And we've talked about this a little bit when I did the sew along on this top, the 621, that one could be horizontal, one could be vertical. It's just all different ways, because there's no grain, and if there even were grain, I could still do it with a woven top because the grain doesn't matter. So the two things I'm trying to get across to you is, if it were a woven top, I could still play with that grain simply because it's shorter than 20 inches, and the only negative of grain when a garment is longer is the garment twist, like in pants when it's off grain. But if a garment's shorter, like in a blouse, it doesn't make a difference, and I can do whatever I want. So I want you to try to really grasp that and get a fabric. We've got all kinds of brand new stripes up, and they're all at really good prices, and play and make 621 in a stripe. So happy holidays. It's a nice holiday weekend for everybody, and thanks for watching. Bye.